it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today with one of my brand new patterns using our Simply Delightful fabric, and this one is Happy Go Lucky. It really is a happy, cheerful quilt, and it's the ultimate scrap quilt. You'll find out a lot about it when we'll look at it up close, and I'll tell you all of my favorite things about this, which might be one of my favorite new patterns this time around. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this is Happy Go Lucky, and another one of my favorite quilts. I don't know, it might be my favorite. I had this pattern in my mind for quite a little while. I knew that I wanted to alternate turn dash blocks and 9 patch blocks, and I also knew that I wanted to kind of change up the 9 patches from where the 5 lights were in the corners in the center, and then some of the 9 patches with the 5 darks in the corners in the center. And I had this all mapped out, and I had shown all of my quilts to my friend Marion, who does most all of the all over patterns that I have quilted for my bigger quilts anyway. And she said, "Oh, I cannot wait to quilt that quilt." And she said, "You have to make it first." And it was really fun to have the quilter so excited about making it. And she just did an all over pattern. You can tell it has these little bubbles, but then it has kind of radiating lines. It's just a really fun pattern that worked out perfectly for this quilt. One thing, and this was completely Marion's suggestion too, she said, "Why don't you throw a few stars in there?" And so I did. I threw in, does this red star? I threw in 3 different sawtooth stars, and they're just kind of fun surprises. And I actually changed up one of them, that it has a dark background and a light star. But I did throw in 3 stars in just for fun, and those fit in the mix really, really well because I put them in place of the churn dash blocks. And so you don't have to worry about matching seams where they meet the 9 patch blocks, which I thought was really a fun benefit. The 9 patches in the churn dash, they do meet, but I have some pressing instructions in the pattern to help you with that, so that you should end up with the majority of your seams nesting if you follow those pressing directions in the pattern. Lots of fun combinations here. Our Simply Delightful collection has 38 prints. 25 of them are mediums and darks, and 13 of them are low volumes. And I used every single print from the collection and had a lot of fun matching up lighter prints with darker prints. And then you do need to add an extra yard of fabric, and you can kind of divide that up however you want. You can do half yards of 2 different fabrics, which is what I did. You can do just add in 1 yard, or you could add in some fat quarters. I feel like if you start breaking it down too much, you might need a little bit of additional fabric, but you can play with those extra background fabrics however you want. Now, I wanted to almost change the name of this quilt after I got sewing it into, the ultimate scrap quilt. That's just how I felt about it while I was sewing. And so I wrote the pattern so that it is perfect to use with your own scraps, your own fat quarter bundle. And the pattern will tell you this many darks and this many lights for each of the block combinations. And it's also a great, I feel like, a skill builder quilt, because you make I think there were 49 9 patch blocks. You make those first, and then you make the churn dash blocks, and I believe there were 61 of those, and then you make the stars last. But the pattern is completely written so that you know for each block how many lights and how many darks you need to make, you need to cut to make it all work for this kind of a look. And like I said, you can use scraps or anything as long as you get those certain amounts of darks and lights. And I'll just show you the border quickly. We use this little flower print for the border and the teal dots for the binding. One of my favorite combinations here. The backing actually isn't from this collection. It's from our Emma collection, which will be in stores in the fall. I hadn't requested the correct background amount for this quilt, and so the only thing I had enough of was this Emma print. So it is a large quilt. It finishes at 79.5 inches by 79.5 inches. And again, you could easily update the size, make it bigger or smaller. It's just a great stash quilt, and I love how it looks in our Simply Delightful fabrics. Okay, so that's it for the Happy Go Lucky quilt pattern. It's available now in my shop in paper and in PDF, and I also have a special bundle if you get all 4 of the new patterns, a discounted price and free shipping on those. So that will be available for the entire rest of the month of July and throughout August. So really excited to share all of these new quilts and patterns with you, and hope that you will enjoy making one of these either with our Simply Delightful fabrics or with your favorite fabrics from your stash. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.